So Chris, could you tell us something about this Band of Mercy medal?
Well, it's given to all the members of the Band of Mercy that signed the Band of Mercy pledge card. The design was approved by Queen Victoria, and if you look closely at the design, there's a cat in the bottom right-hand corner, which wasn't there in the original design. Queen Victoria requested that.
Right.
Other than that, the design was done for value for money and a design that wouldn't wear too much. And the medal ribbon was chosen because of its colour and wouldn't soil.
Yes, and I think similarly they chose that colour because it was the same colour as the ribbon on a Victoria Cross, so they were sort of
That's
linking it to an army.
Certainly, I think they were interested in what the
yeah.
military awards had. That's right.
Absolutely. And what do we know about this one specifically?
Given to Private Paul and displayed along with his other army medals, I think probably shows the pride he wore it with.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably a young man that's not long out of childhood and is still using this as a remembrance of that childhood and showing his pride in his pledge to the Band of Mercy.
Yes, absolutely. From what we've been able to find out about him, which has been very little, I think he was a young man. He served in the Army Service Corps, which was a very large part of the army during the First World War, up to about 300,000 men. And he would have worked directly with horses, with the supply of food and equipment and ammunition and so on for the army. So he would have. It seems like this interest in animals from his earlier life is something that he managed to carry forward in his army career, and that's why he kept this medal with his other medals. The RSPCA obviously did a lot with the army during the First World War. Would you like to tell us a bit about that?
Yes. The RSPCA offered a service to the War Office at the very outset of war, and I think were turned away in the early stages, but was soon encouraged to help the Army, because I think they found that the Army Veterinary Corps was having difficulty coping with the numbers. And so RSPCA inspectors were enrolled straight away into the Army Veterinary Corps, and the RSPCA started collecting funds to supply the Army Veterinary Corps with all the necessary medicines, ambulances and hospitals that they required.
Absolutely, and the Army Veterinary Corps were very proud really of their record during the First World War. I think using the Boer War as their previous benchmark, where losses have been incredibly high. I think 80% of all horses that were treated during the First World War were able to return to the front line, which is a really large number. So very impressive.
50% wastage, I think, in the Boer War.
During the Boer War, yes, and similarly the wastage during the First World War was down as low as 16 or 17% for the army, which was actually less than the big railway companies operating in the UK at the time. So it was they were doing a really good job, and thanks in no small part, I'm sure, to the RSPCA and their experience of providing professional men to do that sort of thing. For us, it's a very unusual item. In fact, it's the only one we have in our collection. We've got some 20,000 medals in total, and this is the only medal of this type. So it's very much something that's different from the norm. It's a really interesting and unusual, very personal thing, I think, for the museum. Have you come across other examples of these before?
We have a number of examples that have been returned to the RSPCA for our interest. They're not usually among other medals.
Right.
They're usually among people's private possessions when they died, or sometimes have been dug up in the garden. Difficult to say how that's happened.
Absolutely.